Thanks for checking out the lesson. We're going to get right into it here in a second. Just a couple things. I'm not going to have like a bunch of overdrive in the octave pedal on. I definitely don't have the same gear as Trey, so I had to get really creative in trying to emulate the sound he has. I used a solid gold FX pedal called Formula 76. It's a fuzz pedal, and it's just going into a Boss OC3 octave pedal, so really simple. You know, I have no idea exactly how he's creating this sound. I'm not really a huge gear guy, but hopefully somebody out there can say what he's using, so if somebody out there wants to really dial it in, they can. Other than that, I've got 4 sections to share with you today. I'll just present each section, I'll play it, and then give a couple tips and tricks and maybe a little insight into what Trey's doing. And if you want the downloadable tabs, they're posted up to my online course, so you can check that out if you want to. Let's get right into it. So here's the first section where the drums drop out and it's just Trey and Mike. We're going to be on the 7th fret of G string, and he might do like a little hammer on here for the first couple notes. This note I hit at the end is really the first note of the second section, and we'll get to that in a second. To set everything up here, you could either picture this as kind of surrounding like a D minor bar chord, kind of like that. That's how I tend to more see it, but you also can make a case for just, you know, thinking of like your 4th position of the D minor pentatonic scale. It's all going to be pretty much almost exclusively D minor pentatonic. He does have a couple other notes thrown in there. I'll tell you what they are as they come, but starting out, he starts with the note D. Let's just pause right there. The things that stand out to me in this first little bit is just the syncopation, because the notes themselves are pretty straightforward. It's just minor pentatonic so far. But notice that he has like this kind of forward motion with the syncopation he's using. Right there and there. Okay, now moving on from there, we're going to hit another D. Sounds like he has like a hammer-on going on. Now, one of those notes in there, if you caught it, was not in the pentatonic, it was an E. I love that he throws this note in. He actually does it a couple times, and it just adds a little extra color. So he comes in on the and of 1 in this measure, 1 and. So that E stands out. It's just, like I said, a little extra color. And then the other thing that I think is so crucial with the sound that he's getting, especially in this solo, and it's really something that Trey does quite a bit of, is this really percussive muting. And it's really a crucial part of the sound, I think it is. And so if we look at the second measure of the last couple that I just played, he's going to do this. So do you hear those little mutes in there? He's got like a slide here. Mute, mute, mute. And like I said, it just gives it a little extra rhythmic movement and just percussive kind of vibe. It's really, really cool. And we're going to see that happen, you know, a little more throughout the solo. So that's the first section. If you're a guitarist who loves Phish, Grateful Dead, and want to take a quantum leap with your technique, theory, and improvisation, you need to join my online course and community, Elevated Improv. Think of all the things that go into playing a great guitar solo. Scales, arpeggios, phrasing, rhythm, and more. It can all add up and feel impossible to put together, but that's exactly what my course is designed to help you do. In addition to the full course, you also get access to my premium Phish and Grateful Dead guitar lesson library, including dozens of songs, solos, and downloadable tabs with songs like much more. This all comes at an insane value too. Imagine that you decided to take weekly private guitar lessons for a whole year. This could easily add up to over $3 grand. Or think of the cost of going to a college for music. We all know how expensive that can get. Instead, as a member of Elevated Improv, you'll learn everything you need to become the guitarist you've always dreamed of, but at a fraction of the cost of those other options. Bottom line, if you love jam bands and guitar, this is the place to be. What's more is it'll save you something even more valuable than money: your time. Having guidance and mentorship can shave off years of frustration from your guitar journey. Imagine the feeling of satisfaction you'll get from learning one of your favorite songs note for note that you used to think was impossible to learn. Imagine how great it'll feel to be able to solo with confidence at the next jam or gig you play. With a good plan, focus, and consistency, you can make massive progress in no time. So now is the time to take action. Join the growing number of members of Elevated Improv and sign up today. Be sure to select the VIP option and schedule your free one-on-one goal planning session with me right away. I'll see you there. Now, back to the lesson. Picking up on the second section, we're going to start where we left off on the 5th fret of the A string. That's the note D. He hits that. I'm going to play this and then talk you through it. And like before, this note I hit at the end will be the first note of the 3rd section, but let's break down what's happening in the 2nd section here. So we pick up on the 5th fret with the note D, hop all the way down to 8th fret of high E, then here he is again with that percussive muting. The other thing he'll do a lot here, and this is something we can definitely take away from this solo and apply to our own improvisation, is these little like quick slides that he does. It not only sounds really cool and adds this really beautiful style to the solo, but it gives us a strategic way to move pentatonic positions. So we're really, he kind of will go between like the 4th and 5th position of minor pentatonic. It's kind of interesting because a lot of times we might be inclined to go to the 1st position, and Trey definitely does use that position, but here he's kind of more going between 4th and 5th position. If you want to think of it like that, you could more, like I said, equate it to like a bar chord or like a minor chord like that. I think that's a really good idea too, is to kind of plot out where the chord's at. So anyway, that percussive stuff going from the 8th fret of the B string, slide, I love how he leaves some space here with the rest, and this next run is really cool. So again there we see more of that percussive muting going on. The other thing that's kind of cool here is I love how he I love that lick. I don't know why, it just the fact that he goes up to the 7th fret of G, and instead of going right to 6 of B, like going in order, I love that he comes back down like... It's the simplest thing, but adds a little texture. And then from there he adds that percussive muting kind of thing again. Only other thing that stands out that's outside of the pentatonic is just a little passing tone on the way to our root note, which is D. He just does that kind of thing, almost like a wipeout kind of sound. Let's get into the 3rd section and keep it moving, and we're going to see a familiar thing from earlier. I'm going to play through it and then talk you through what's going on. And then here again, that last note will be the beginning of our 4th and last section for what we're going to look at here. But did you catch that like kind of extra color tone? He threw in that E again toward the beginning of this 3rd section. So he goes from 10th fret, which is the root note, that's D, a little, maybe a little tiny bend on that minor 3rd, but I think that E just adds so much vibe. And then he's got the blue note in there as well on the 9th fret, so again here. And then that quick slide. Okay, Okay, this is just a really subtle thing. He mostly has been using pentatonic stuff, those couple extra notes here and there, and this is the first time where I hear just like a straight up triad where he goes, so this kind of triad has two notes on the root string, meaning our root is on the A string. We play that note, then another note on the same string. That's going to be the minor third, and then the fifth is kind of on its own on the D string, and then he goes back to the root. So it just gives us a little extra space from like all this kind of pentatonic movement that we've been having. It's just a really cool, subtle thing he does. One more time from there. Then he slides up. And we're back up into this kind of fifth position of minor pentatonic. And then again, the thing that stands out to me is not so much just, the notes he's playing, because they're pretty straightforward from pentatonic, but we can get a lot of mileage with a really great rhythm, which Trey is a master at. Okay, now here's the fourth and last section, and then after this part is where he turns the octave pedal off and kind of keeps shredding, but I'm going to end the lesson after this one. Let me know. I can do more of this one if you guys want to see it, but let's get into it here. We're going to start on the 7th fret, again on the note D. We start on the downbeat on this one. It's kind of almost a rare thing for Trey to start on a strong beat like that, but he goes. And then again, toward the end of that measure right there, there was that bouncy syncopation. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Just keeping things moving. And then I feel like this is getting into the last run here. This is a really cool line. He's going to start on D on the 5th fret of A. And then he goes right to the tritone, which is when if you take an octave of a note, it's cutting the octave in half. Or another way to think of it is the flat 5. Or it could be the sharp 4, but at any rate, he's going to go. There is a little more, obviously, right after that, but I wanted to focus on that first little run. It's going to be on the E of 1, so 1 E and a, 2 E and a. Then he goes up to 10th fret. And then there's that triad that we had, that D minor triad. And he kind of just slides out of it. Here's that last, few measure run from the 5th fret. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 and a 1 E and. Even though that's a relatively short little section right there, this is such a classic jam, and there's so much amazing stuff you can draw from and steal away for your own stuff. That's always the idea here. So like I kind of always say with something like this, learning somebody else's solo, I would learn as much as you want note for note. This one's not too long, so you could definitely learn every single part of it and then try to deconstruct it and then take it apart, make it your own. Or another really cool exercise you could do with this is take a riff or two that you really enjoy and then try to find where that riff kind of lives in each of the 5 pentatonic positions. Even though right now in this part Trey's kind of hanging out in a couple different positions, later on he does go higher up and does some other stuff, obviously. So it's cool to kind of get your bearings and map the terrain out a little bit. Again, if you want the downloadable tabs to this song and then many other Phish songs, I've got dead solos, my whole course, and a bunch of other stuff. Check out the link in the description. It's a great way to learn not only a bunch of Phish songs, but also to support the channel. So I really appreciate you guys hanging with me. I'll see you next time. Thanks.